Viewers and subscribers, welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. I came across a video where the senator representing Anambra State Central, Senator Victor Ume, was endorsing the latest borrowing by this government of Boroboro under APC led by Tinubu again. And his endorsement, I need to critically draw some lines for my senator.
Mr. President, I've approached you this morning with the details of my point of order on personal explanation. With leave, do I proceed?
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, yesterday, this Senate approved the President's request for approval for the borrowing plan for 2025-2026 and going forward. In that request, Mr. President, one critical thing that I've always canvassed for in this Senate, with motions upon motions, was the need to reconstruct the Eastern Rail Line by the federal government of Nigeria. I recall that in one occasion, 35 senators in this chamber co-sponsored one of such motions. And Mr. President, in each occasion, you have always expressed the need to consider the motion and the prayers. And the prayers have always been approved. Mr. President, I also recall that in 2025, when the President submitted his budget proposals to this Senate, during the second reading of that budget, I raised an observation that the Eastern Rail Line was not included in the legacy projects that the President will execute. I recall that the DSP presiding that they told me to wait for the breakdown. And when the breakdown is released, that I can now make a case. Well, the budget was discussed and referred to the committee. On the day the budget was to be passed, during the closed-door session, I raised the same issue, that the Eastern Rail Line was not accommodated in the 2025 budget. You magnanimously approved that I should raise it when we reverted to plenary, that even though it was for the budget to be passed, which will not allow for any debate, they would like me to raise the same issue. I did during the plenary by magnanimity, and you sitting there promised that there was merit in that agitation or in that observation. You promised that you will take it up with Mr. President along with the leadership so that this Eastern Rail Line will be addressed once and for all. I was just for happy, Mr. President, that when the request for $21 billion loan was submitted to the Senate, the Eastern Rail Line was now accommodated. $3 billion was provided for the reconstruction of the Eastern Rail Line. And yesterday, the Senate, during the session, approved the request. It now paves way for that Eastern Rail Line to be reconstructed. I feel so happy about this because I've always canvassed here that anything we shall do in Nigeria, we should carry parts of Nigeria along. This Eastern Rail Line that has now the prospect of being reconstructed will be a very good development, particularly in line with the sentiments of the people of the Southeast Zone. So on this note, I want to thank Mr. President, who has promised that he will do this. During his visit to the Southeast in January 4th precisely, our stakeholders raised the same issue with him, and he promised that he will address it. So in keeping with this promise, this cry of the people of this zone, and indeed all the users of the Eastern Rail Corridor, starting from to Maiduguri, including Bauchi, everywhere, they are now happy that this is going to be done. So on this note, I thank Mr. President, and also thank you, Mr. Senate President, for joining me in leading this struggle on behalf of the people using this corridor. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Yes, I believe strongly that the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Good. Now, you heard him when he said why he's endorsing it without looking at any other thing is because of the so-called overhyped $3 billion mapped out for Southeast or Eastern Rail Corridor from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. I live in Jamaica. That is not my major concern. My major concern is even when he acknowledged the fact that the people that are going to pay for this will be children we no even were born before or during the borrowing. You are borrowing for the next 30 years. Who are you leaving it to pay for? None of these men in this red chamber will be alive when this money supposedly would be paid. None of them will be alive. If you add 30 years to the least or the youngest of them, it's over, if I'm not mistaken, nearly 90 years and above. Just give them that benefit of long life. Only 10% of them in that red chamber today will still be alive in the next 30 years. I'm not wishing them death soon. I want them to live long to see the produce of their stupidity, because it is blatant stupidity to borrow. And now come to think of it, don't call me bad below, and don't take it personal. My Senator Victor, I have so much respect for you, because all that concerns you and all that bothers you is what will be good for our people in the East. And that is why you didn't even bother to look at every other thing than to just endorse it. Because for the first time, as they presume, Igbos will be getting a chunk of money from the borrowing that Nigeria have been borrowing all these years. We shouldn't be blindfolded and be emotional. Because I am very sure with the Nigeria character, the way they do things, this money will be borrowed, of course. And the project may never even be finished. Definitely and certainly not under this government. I'm telling you honestly. And even the amount of money that is being quoted for these projects and borrowing are overinflated compared to what is obtainable in other countries in doing similar projects. Why is it that when it comes to Nigeria, it will be billion dollar, and at the end of the day, the whole thing will be a monumental failure? Elephant project. How can you convince Nigerians otherwise? That this money that is always being borrowed do not find their way into private purses of vested interest who are in the corridors of power? Tell me, how can we just be blatantly be borrowing and borrowing and borrowing? Is it not the same government that imposed hardship on Nigeria under the guise that they have removed fuel subsidy? Where are the proceeds of the money from this fuel subsidy while endless borrowing? That is the question. That is the question. And since the 2 years of this Tinubu government of hardship imposed this horrible situation upon Nigerians, Nigerians have been paying through their nose to live and survive in Nigeria. What has changed? What have improved? Has hospital improved? No. Have federal roads improved? No. Have schools, public schools improved? No. Have even security improved? No. What have improved in Nigeria? You are borrowing. Borrow government. I'm not endorsing this. And I believe every right-thinking person will not endorse any single kobo being borrowed by this government, because you know how it will go. If you think I am just not making sense, let me have your opinion on the comment section. But here we say it the way it is. And you help me share it to open the eyes of more Nigerians to know when to remove the hand of chimpanzee before it becomes a human hand from the soup. I'm also General Peters, your advocate for good governance, and championing the ballot revolution for 2027 to dismantle this government of impunity. What is your take? Let me have it on the comment section, and help me share this video to all Nigerians. I'm signing out. Bye-bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.